I remember playing in the 80s, late 80s when I started playing for Blackpool, and it was quite horrific. It was difficult to deal with as a player. But in them days, you were told to just man up and get on with it, and we did that. And we just listened to Chris Kamara impromptu speech about his opinion about players walking off the pitch. I agree with Chris. I don't think players should walk off the pitch because I think that's what the racists want you to do. And in my day, we were always taught by our coaches, by our teammates, to prove them wrong and let that fuel your fire and improve your performance rather than go in a negative way. And that's how we dealt with it. Fortunately, football, I think, is dealt with through a lot of charities like Kick It Out and Show Racism Red Card and the PFA. We've been proactive to try and rid our sport of racism. I think it has laid dormant over the last few years, at least until this season. But I think it reflects society. You know, I think there's racism. There's always going to be people who have got no tolerance for other races or people of colour. And for me, it's more important than ever that we educate the kids.
What would you do?
I think I'd go through the due diligence. I think I'd get on with the game. I think I'd mention it to the referee so we could make a note. I think I'd mention it to the governing bodies, whether it be UEFA, if it's a FIFA tournament, if it's the Premier League, if it's an EFL tournament, National League. It doesn't matter how low it is. Go and speak to the governing body, go and speak to the people in charge, make sure they're aware of it and make sure they follow up with your complaint. But I would say stay on the pitch. I'd say stay on the pitch and use it as fuel to fire your performance, improve your performance and show these people, these ignorant, racist people, that it can't affect them. I would say I understand that because I don't think the punishment when we have witnessed racism has been harsh enough. I think it's been very lenient and it's an absolute liberty. Some of the fines that are given out and some of the action that's been taken, I just don't think it's strong enough. And I go back to when I heard Les Ferdinand speaking yesterday quite passionately because he has dealt with it, coming from a player who's well regarded. He is in a position of power. He's ended up in a boardroom. And I feel a lot of clubs, a lot of companies, a lot of governing bodies need to start embracing different ethnicity into their boardrooms. And I feel if you do that, you will have passionate people in high places, then they can start making changes that are needed and making the punishment severe enough that football clubs, that society start taking notice and feel it's not acceptable to make these comments or behave like that. And if they feel that the punishment is there, I feel you can rid it.
Do you feel that there's enough diversity there?
I don't. It doesn't reflect society, and especially in our sport, because let's just look at, for one instance, the Premier League Team of the Year. You know, there's 6 players that are black in that team, and then you look at the coaching staff, you look at the managers. Not just in the Premier League, you look all the way down the leagues. They're not represented enough. And listen, that can't be by luck, because I think there's a lot of clever players that have retired, would love to get the opportunity to manage, but don't get that opportunity. You know, I look at Darren Moore, he was doing a decent job at West Bromwich Albion. As soon as he had a little bit of a bad run, they got rid of him. I think it's easy to say, you should give black players or black coaches more opportunities, but until you get more representation in the boardrooms, in positions of power in football, whether it's UEFA, whether it's FIFA, whether it's the Premier League, I don't think you're going to get any action that's going to be worth talking about on the pitch and in the dugouts.